Hey Flosstube, welcome to Creative Whim Studio. Welcome to my studio, guys. Thank you for being here. Today is Saturday, February 18th. This is Flosstube, I don't know, 167, I think. Anyways, it's a glorious sunny day here in Michigan. It's cold. Don't get me wrong, it's cold. But the snow is melting. It's in the 40s, which isn't too bad. But yeah, sun. Oh, I'm loving these sunshiny days. I was just at a baby shower a little like earlier today. It was at 11 in the morning in Holly, Michigan. I was just looking at the clock. It's like 5:30 now. Kind of late doing this, and I'm running out of daylight, so I was like, ooh, I got to get on the ball here. But anyways, I was at a baby shower, which is always such a delight. I mean, and she's having a girl, so she got all these little dresses and all this cute baby stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. Super excited for them. But anyway, I was on my way home and I stopped at the Great Lakes National Cemetery and I paid my father a visit, said a prayer for him, and made my way home. And I was just pulling floss and linen for a project, for something new. And I was texting back and forth with Colleen because she just finished stitching a model for me that I can't wait to get my hands on. She said it turned out really nice. And from the pictures, it looks great. But she said, you got to see it in person. So I'm super excited to get that back. But anyways, where's I going to say? Oh, yeah, and her and I were texting back and forth. And I just told her, I said, I need to stop doing this and just do my Flosstube video, because for me, pulling the floss and linen is the hardest part the hardest part of designing for me, because I want all the colors to work together with the linen. And I mean, you really can pick the wrong linen, and like, long as I'm happy with my linen, and when I'm done stitching or when I get the model back, as long as I'm happy with it, that's great. But there's sometimes then I'll see someone stitching something that I've designed on a linen that I like better. It's like, oh, I wish mine was stitched on that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. One is, Land That I Love. I love how mine turned out on that linen. I mean, I love how the design is one of my best designs. Just the layout of it and the colors work so well together. I've seen that one stitched on so many different linens that I sometimes wish mine was on a little bit of a lighter linen color. But anyways, it is what it is. So I'm very, very particular about picking the right linen color and picking the floss, and I'm oh, I don't know, this one's too tomato red, let's put this in, and and does this work, does this blue work with these reds, does it look too Americana, I want it to be more spring, or whatever, just all these thoughts go through my head. And sometimes I'm kind of an overthinker where I overthink things to death and then I'm just like, throw my hands up type of thing. So yeah, that to me is the hardest part. Coming up with ideas, charting something, the stitching part, all of that. Well, stitching doesn't come easy to me, but the designing part and the charting part of it comes easy to me. It's seriously, for me, is choosing the linen and the threads and making it all work together. So I'm taking a break and I will finish that on Monday. What did I do this past week? What didn't I do? No, I'm kidding. It was busy. As always, right before market, it's always super busy. I did manage to stitch every morning. I am forcing myself at least one 18-inch thread, but I try to do an hour, depending on which comes first. because sometimes in an hour I can, you know, do a lot, and then sometimes in an hour I get knots and I, you know, I'm having a hard time and I picked the wrong color and I have to frog it or something like that. And so sometimes all I can get in is one strand. But anyways, I got some stitching in, so that makes me super happy. I designed my next mystery sale for Patreon. I got that done. That's what I was pulling the floss and linen for. What else? Oh, I got my punch needle new releases. I got the directions and all of that done. I don't know. There's been a lot this week, and then Kyle on Thursday had surgery. Not the best time because, as you know, he works with us, and Kevin kind of freaked out like, oh, right before market, because he can't lift anything for a week. So by the time he comes back to work this coming Thursday, probably this coming Thursday or Friday, he'll be back to work, and we leave the following Tuesday for market. But he can sit and stuff patterns, and Ryan said if you need patterns stuffed, I need some extra money, so you know. So Kevin kind of freaked out, and I'm like, use the boys. They want the money. They want, you know, Kyle said he's bored to death because he's not one to just lay around. So he's like really bored. But anyway, the grandkids were over on Thursday, and Kevin ended up taking, see now, I would have been there for Kyle's surgery, but the grandkids were coming over, and I thought his girlfriend was going to go with him, but then we were getting a freezing rain and all of that in the afternoon, and so, you know, he asked his dad, he asked Kevin if he could take him, because, you know, we have a truck, and he just wanted to make sure that, you know, he'd get home safe and not worry about, you know, getting in an accident after having surgery would not be a fun thing. So Kevin was gone all day. He didn't get home till like, I don't know, 5:30 or something like that. His surgery was delayed 2 hours and blah, blah, blah. You know how that is. You get to the hospital, your surgery's at this time. Anyway, it was an all day thing. So I was with the kids all day, and to try to cook and take care of them, and they're so excited, you know, to be there. They were just wound up, and it was a rough day. And yeah, we had freezing rain and snow, and the roads were super bad, and I thank the Lord that I work from home. Let's just put it that way. Oh, while I was stitching and while I was designing on my computer, I did have a couple movie suggestions for you, because if you're like me, you're always looking for a good movie that like has a decent plot. I don't like a lot of nudity. I don't like lots of swearing, and those kind of movies are very hard to find. So I want to recommend The Age of Adeline, Blake Lively, and Harrison Ford. Yes, Harrison Ford. It is an amazing movie on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, it's free. Such a great movie. Then after that, I watched Your Place or Mine, and that has Reese Witherspoon, which I love, and Ashton Kutcher was in that one. And that's a funny one. I mean, it's the typical, you know, rom-com type of thing, but it had a different kind of storyline. It was good. It was good. It was entertaining, and I really like Reese. So anyway, a couple movie suggestions for you. So before I show you what I was stitching this week, a couple things I want to talk about. One is the Annabella's Everything Spring Retreat. All Things Spring, that's what it's called. Annabella's, and I'm so sorry, Elaine, I keep saying Annabella's. Annabella's Retreat. I'm the guest designer at it. It is April 28th through the 30th. It is held in Lansing at the Hilton Garden Inn. We are going to have so much fun. I'm so excited, and I'm starting to feel really good about it, because, I mean, I felt good about it the whole time. But, you know, until you get the model stitched pieces back, until you get all your floss in to make the kits and all the fabric in to make your kits, till all that comes in, I'm just kind of on edge. It makes me nervous. But I got my floss in, I got my fabric in. 2 of the designs I have, well, yeah, 2 of the model stitches are done. I just haven't gotten the thing back, and then the stitch pieces back, and then one of them I got back already. I've ordered the box, I've ordered the needle minder, like everything is going smoothly. So now I'm like, yes, I'm ready. So there's going to be a Biscore New class that my friend Donna Fidowa, that I have named the Biscore New Queen because she's made a gazillion of them and she's very good at it and she's a perfectionist, and it's just, she's so good and she's a good teacher, and she's going to be teaching a Biscore New class. I'm super excited about what I designed for it because of the theme that I went with. Oh, the color, the linen choices of the Biscore New is like a dark color on the bottom and a light color on top. And I think it's just going to be stunning. I can't wait to see it made up into a Biscore New. So if you have joined, or what do I want to say? If you've registered for the Annabella's retreat, when I go to market, I'm taking the Biscore New kits with me to give to Elaine, and then she's going to mail them out to everyone, because if you have it stitched before you come to the retreat, you can finish it. Like, Donna will be there to help you finish it. She's going to teach the class. We're going to have a handout. She's coming to my studio. I'm going to take pictures as she's doing it, and we're going to have an amazing handout for you. So we're going to make Biscore News easy, okay? And what else? I'm bringing a pop-up shop is what I call it, but I'm going to have a vendor table, or probably two. So I'll be bringing patterns and different things, 8x10 prints, and then just, you know, different things that I make and sell. It's going to be a blast. So I'm excited. You need to go and check if you can get here. If you live within driving distance or even flying, you can fly here, guys. Come to Michigan. Come to that retreat. It's going to be so fun, and it's held at the Hilton. It's like one of my favorite hotels. And what else was I going to say about it? There's going to be other vendors, Chantel 141. Her finishing pieces are so amazing. So yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Anyways, I'm going to have the information in the drop down menu, in the box, the description box below, where you can click on a link and go and read all about it. She talks about, you know, the hotel. She talks about the closest airport, what else you can do in the area, and just, you know, lots of information she has there for you. Okay, what else? Oh, I want to mention that if you go to teresakogut.com, I have all my new releases on there, and then so I have them all, the pictures of all of them, and then below in the same order I have all of the, like the back cover where it shows all of the linen that was used, the floss colors, the thread colors that were used, and all of that. So if it's something you want to start kitting up before you get the pattern after Nashville, then you could have all that stuff lined out. Oh, and then also when I was doing my new release video and I was showing that pillow, I have it packed away for Nashville. Anyways, I was talking about how I couldn't get the wrinkles out, and thank you to so many of you who gave me the recommendation to use Best Press on the back of my stitching, and then, you know, before you iron it, you spray it on, and then they said it really does work on getting out the wrinkles before you finish your piece. So I'm really excited. I haven't even ordered it yet because I keep forgetting, but I'm excited to give that a try. So thank you everyone for that suggestion, and thank you also, all your kind comments about my new releases just warms my heart. And I mean, you guys are the reason I do what I do. You know, I love, I mean, not that I wouldn't stitch if I didn't design, but just you give me reason to want to come out with amazing designs, and I try my hardest to make them so pretty. So just thank you. I really, really do appreciate all your wonderful and kind comments. One last thing, I just want to show this piece again. I guess maybe I should have checked with Teresa Vanette, Kitten Stitcher, to make sure there were still some of these left. I'm assuming so. I don't know. I should check. But anyway, this was an exclusive that I designed for Teresa in her shop. So it's only available at kittenstitcher.com. I'll have a link in the description box below. and she's selling it as a kit. Like, you can get the pattern with the floss. I think you can get just the pattern. And then also this linen, you'd have to buy that as a separate purchase, but she's stocking this linen in different counts as well. This is an XJU Designs. I don't remember the name of it, but she has it listed there, everything that you need to know. So anyway, it's called Big Folk Flower. And again, a new kind of color palette for me, but I just think that gray with that red kind of berry color just really works well together. So yeah, so check that out, kittenstitcher.com. Okay, so my first whip is called, what is it called? Teach My Heart, right? Yes, it's called Teach My Heart. This is an antique reproduction. As soon as I'm done stitching it and I get it framed, I'm releasing it. So it more than likely will just be a singular release. It's not going to be with other patterns or anything. That's how I plan on treating any reproductions, antique reproductions that I do. Okay, I'm not going to hold them off for, like, you know, Nashville or something like that. So here it is. It's really hard with this glare, so I apologize for that. I really love this piece. It says, if I am right, thy grace impart, still in the right to stay. If I am wrong, oh, teach my heart to find that better way. Oh, I love it. So I am stitching that on 40 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm stitching it in silks. I asked Jean at the attic if she would do a floss or a color conversion for me, and she did. And these colors are amazing. And can I just tell you what I'm learning by stitching on this piece? Number one, I love stitching with silk. I can use a whole 18 inches and never get a knot. That speaks volumes, because I get so frustrated with knots and with the cotton floss. And then the other thing that I found out is I'm not a fan of 1/1. I always wondered why that was something that people didn't like. Because I'm like, well, what's the big deal? 1/1, 1/2. I didn't think, I'm thinking, why is that such a big, I don't know why it's a big deal, but it is. I think part of it for me is they want to slide under that, like weft, I don't know which, whatever, the vertical threads. It wants to slide under there. I don't know, it bugs me. So I've got it stitched. Basically, this is going to be the size from here to here. So it's quite a bit smaller than the original, because if you noticed, that original had really big holes in it. But this is my progress so far. I'm kind of bummed, and this is not on Jean, this is on me, because what I did is I pulled the DMCs that I thought were closest to the antique sampler, and then Jean took the DMCs and color matched beautifully to those DMC colors, like they're spot on. But I think I chose these colors here, this particular color, that dark brown. It's darker than what the original antique sampler is. But I think in the long run it's going to be okay. I think the blues are so pretty. So yeah, where I left off before, I had all this part of the alphabet done, and I think I had this done up to like E or maybe F, and then I did all that and this. So, oh, and then, yeah, so this part of the alphabet. I wanted to see how wide it was going to be, so I just kept stitching until I could get to the end, because I really wanted to see. And I need to cut this piece because it's driving me crazy. So, yeah, I can trim a bunch of that off now. Matter of fact, I'm leaving this out to do that before I go back up to the house. So Kevin, you know, I told you earlier that I went to a baby shower. Well, Kevin is going to the diaper party, and that's tonight because, you know, they're guys and they have to party and play cards and all that stuff. So he's probably already left, actually, or he's going to be leaving soon to go to the diaper party. So guess what I'm going to be doing? Well, I need to do some charting and stuff, but I do plan on spending at least a couple hours tonight stitching. I do not know, let me just tell you, this one is a hot mess. I love this piece. I think it's so cute. It's called Autumnal Bliss. I love it. And I couldn't wait to stitch this little guy. Like, I'm with you guys. I want to stitch fun stuff, you know? So like, I always start in the upper left-hand corner and just work my way. You know, usually I work this way and I just do the piece this way, but I'm like, no, I want to get this guy done. Well, how do you do that if you start right up here? Well, you go down, you work your way over, and then you go up. That's what I did. I don't know this fabric. I can't find the bag that this was originally in. So I basically didn't do a ton on it, but I finished the roof here because I want to do the pumpkins. Then I went to stitch those pumpkins, and I looked in the project bag I had it in. All that floss that was in that project bag was for a Christmas design I did for the Jingle Ball. So I don't have any of the floss colors. I don't know what bag it came in. I think what happened is I was recording a Flosstube and I think I put it in the wrong bag. So where is the bag that has all the floss for that design? I have no idea. So I might have to pull the floss again. So it might be put on the back burner now just because I'm irritated with it. It's in a timeout. Then I worked on this piece that I love. I am a huge fan of folk art, of Pennsylvania Dutch folk art, just that whole look. I love it. Funky birds, I love all that. So this next piece is called 1810 Folk Art. And this is a design after one of my paintings that I did many, many years ago. And this is how far I am on it. So that bird was already done. And basically all I did was come down here and then stitch over here and then stitch that. I wanted to box that in to make sure that I had enough room. I also had to do some frogging because anyways, my bird is over one stitch too far. So his tail feathers are not supposed to be touching that black border, but they are. There's supposed to be a stitch in between there that's not stitched. So there you go. I'm not unpicking that. I'd either have to unpick that whole border or the whole bird, and guess what? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's not that big a deal, but I just have to remember when I start the next bird, you know, yeah, have to keep that in mind. So there you go. I think it's so cute, and it's really pretty on that fabric. Oh, what fabric is that? That fabric is 40 count Dolly Madison by Needle and Flax. Let me show you again. It's such a pretty color fabric, and it works really well with that folk art look. I mean, I have a ton, an absolute ton to do on it, as you can see. It's pretty stitch heavy, but oh my goodness, look at it. I just love it. I can't wait to do this angel. I can't wait to stitch this angel. So yeah, I think my whites will show up really well on this fabric color. That's it, guys. That's what I've been stitching on. Just a little bit. I did a lot on the one and just a little bit on the other two, but you know, progress is progress, and that's all that matters. That's all for my whips, but I want to talk about what I plan on working on a little bit here. I plan on starting a new punch needle. I wanted to color plan it today, but with that shower, It's so funny too, because I totally forgot about this baby shower today. We were at some friend's house last night, and Kevin said, oh yeah, Paul just reminded me that diaper party's tomorrow night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did I miss the shower? When was the shower? And my friend Jan's like, no, you didn't miss it. The shower's tomorrow at 11. I'm like, tomorrow at 11? I mean, I didn't have a gift, nothing. So yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop. Any whoozy whatsy. This is the next punch needle I'm going to do. Now, I really wish I would have had, come on now, there we go. I really wish I would have had this punched and ready to release for Nashville, because obviously with rabbits it would be a great one for spring. But I thought, well, I'm just gonna punch it, and when it's done I'll release it, because I want to do it before, you know, summer gets here. And punch needle goes really fast. Although this is it's kind of a big one. It looks like it's maybe 6 by 6, but it's gonna be so furry. So I want to work on that. The other thing that I want to work on, and Kevin's like, you really should. Okay, I have this huge rug frame in my basement, and it has a rug on it that I started probably 2 or 3 years ago. At least probably 3 years ago, more like, because yeah, it wasn't during COVID, it was before COVID. So yeah, probably 3 or 4 years ago actually. And I have tons of wool yarn, and I have tons of linen and monk's cloth for making rugs, and I love rugs. I probably will make them and gift some and then sell some, because where am I going to put them? I mean, I don't have a lot of wall space and that kind of thing. But anyways, I really want to work on it. And I said to Kevin, I should just, like I'm doing with my stitching, an hour a day. If I just sit down, stitch an hour, and then get up and do rug punching for an hour, and then go on with the rest of my day, you know, that hour a day, even if it was every other day, it would make a lot of progress, because rug punching is about as fast as needle punching, you know. So I got inspired, to be honest. I happened to catch a live video by Deanna. Is it Deanna or Deanne Fitzpatrick? Oh god, now I'm probably just butchering her name. I'll put it up here if I said it wrong. But I don't even know if I was in the car, or I don't know what I was doing, but it came up that she was doing a live video, and I don't really know anything about her. I'm like, oh, that looks fun. I know, I was getting ready for work one day. I was, you know, doing my hair, my makeup or whatever. And I found myself very distracted because it was very entertaining. She was in her studio, and they were talking about chairs and how she has a chair. And I was like, oh my gosh, that has got to be Kevin's long lost sister, because he has a chair. Oh my gosh, the man drives me crazy because he's always buying chairs. And I'm like, well, and some of them were given to him because when our Catholic school and church, they had, the offices were like across the parking lot. So they had this building. Well, the building needed a lot, it was in disrepair, it needed a lot of work, and it was going to be too expensive. So they just tore it down, moved all the offices over to the school. Makes way more sense. Anyways, so he brought home a ton of chairs that are like from the 70s. They just, anyways, I thought it was funny. Side note. So I was watching her. She does, I thought this was interesting. She does rug hooking, because she's working from the top with a rug hook tool, okay? But she's using wool yarn. And I thought it was so interesting. I will be honest, I think, personal preference, I think rug hooking with wool strips is so much more pretty than hooking with yarn or doing punching with yarn. My personal preference. I just love the look of that. But I don't have the time to do rug hooking. I can do rug punching. Not to say I won't, because I really do like the look better. But I got tons of yarn, and I need to use it up, and I want to get projects made. Like I just want to make stuff. Like, it's so ingrained in us women, isn't it? Like, I just want to make things with my hands. Anyways, that is that. I'm just rambling now, so my apologies, but I hope you guys have a great week and that you find time to be creative as well, whether it's stitching or quilting or punching or whatever it is you do. Thank you for joining me today, and don't forget, create every day. Bye.